Our society has countless images, ideas, and stereotypes about change agents. People who help an organization transform by improving business process and interpersonal interactions. Whether influencing fashion, business, art, entertainment, science, politics, or law, these change agents have and continue to positively impact today's society on so many levels. And today, we are proud to share the story of these business owners, coaches, innovators, and thought leaders from various industries who are eager to educate, inspire, and motivate you. This is Our Voices on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome to Our Voices, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the owner and co-founder of Dressing Room 8, co-host of Woke and Free, and the lifestyle editor of Plus Model magazine. And this show is focused on highlighting the amazing work of powerful change agents who have a great message to share with the world. And today, I'm speaking with the one and only Rudy. That's it, guys. Rudy.
That's right. One name.
So who is Rudy? He is a Long Island native with an extensive and celebrated career in the nonprofit sector. His work with organizations like the March of Dimes, Birth Defects Foundation, Boys and Girls Club of New Rochelle, and Bonn Secours, Warwick Health Foundation created a lasting and positive impact on not only the organizations themselves, but the greater community at large. Rudy is currently the Director of Development for the Nassau Community College Foundation. In addition to his work at the Nassau Community College Foundation, he serves as the Vice President of Programming for Strong Island Television, an internet-based entertainment network headquartered in Massapequa, New York, where he hosts a live weekly show entitled Rudy's Room, Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Additionally, he is the creative director of many shows at 90.3 WHPC, including my show here, Tower Talk Business News, Lion Tales, and how many more shows, Rudy?
Oh, anytime I get a chance, I just slide in there. And I love that creative director title. If it's good enough for Oprah, why not Rudy? I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I have to tell you, by the way, I love your show. And yes, not just because I am the creative director, which I don't know how I get that title because I don't do anywhere near enough to earn it, but it's okay. But what you do is phenomenal, Natasha. I mean, the fact that you highlight all these change agents and people doing great things, it's amazing. I don't know how I got here, but it's just, I think you had like a guest shortage, but it's wonderful. I'm so excited.
No. I wanted you on here because you're the reason why I'm here. So one of the reasons why I'm here. So I want people to understand your story a bit more because I've seen your growth in media, and I think it's something that you have a lot of wisdom and insight on. So can you share essentially like what attracted you to media? Why did you want to make a space for yourself here? And what were like step 1 and 2 for you?
Well, the reality of it, first of all, when you went in my background, I think the most important thing for people to understand is that I've had a career in the nonprofit sector for forever. So my essential role and what I guess I've thrived at is helping organizations raise money and progress their mission and spread their message and stuff like that. All that being said, I always actually wanted to be in media. I always wanted to be on TV. I always wanted to do something in radio. I basically never shut up. And what's interesting is that being a guy of a certain age, coming up as I was back in the day, there weren't a lot of people doing, what I do now that kind of looked like me, or there weren't a lot of people who kind of sounded like me.
Yeah.
And I never really was brave enough to kind of put my foot out there in the water. So it all honestly happened just by luck. Working at the Nassau Community College Foundation, we have our Business Leaders Council. And so thanks to the station director here at 90.3 WHPC, whose name I never actually say, but I will say it now, Sean Novat. But I do call him the warden because because all he does is jail me. He just locks me down. But no, he was kind enough to embrace the vision for us starting a business show, which was Tower Talk Business Radio.
Yep.
And then that basically highlights industry leaders and titans who are doing great things. And the idea is that for them to come on, share their wisdom with the world and encourage those folks listening to kind of be somewhat like them. Anyway, that being said, Sean and I were talking, and it was just a silly conversation about the other programs that exist here at the station. And I said, you ought to have something fun. And he said, well, what do you have in mind? And I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, but I had kind of a feeling of just being kind of the 1 hour break in someone's day. And so started putting some stuff together, started playing with it. And I have to tell you, it was really funny because you are very lucky because he really likes you, I have to say. Well, no, because and even like the Tower Talk people and all my other shows, when you guys started your show, he was kind enough to give you people to work the board. And so you have the great Ron Hoffman. Shout out to Ron because he's phenomenal. But I had to work at learning the buttons and the board and all this other stuff.
My gosh.
And I had to practice, and he would yell at me. And I mean, it was like, I felt like I was Michael Jackson, and he was like Joe Jackson. It was like very weird. It was very traumatic. I was like traumatized, but I did get the hang of it.
Yeah.
And we created what was known as Happy Hour here at 90.3 WHPC. And like I said, it's a 1 hour entertainment, a little music, celebrity news and gossip, and then the highlight of the advice letters. And it just kind of exploded because me being silly with my regular voice and kind of your true self, people started tuning in, whether it was the college's chairman of the board of trustees, hello Dr. Garden if you're listening, and then even Dr. W. Hubert Keene, the college president, at one point pulls up next to me and says, "Are those advice letters real? I can't believe that woman got with her husband." And I'm like, wow. So it was amazing. Very far-reaching. You'd be surprised. I'm amazed.
Awesome sauce. So that's amazing, actually, that you admitted to the fact that there was a point in your life where you didn't necessarily feel brave enough to do this, and now you are. And so, how does that feel to live your truth?
Well, I'm still not as brave as I probably should be, because every now and then I'm like, okay, no, you can't say that, or no, you shouldn't do that, or no, don't push that. And every time I push myself out of that comfort zone, I'm pleasantly rewarded. So I'm still a work in progress, like all the rest of us.
Absolutely.
But it feels really good to be able to do what it is I'm now doing. And I love the fact that I still have my job at the foundation, raising money for scholarships and campus enhancements and things like that. But, every Wednesday night from 10 to 11, I get to be crazy and silly and wear fancy clothes, compliments of great places. So it's a lot of fun. I'm having a good time with it.
And for those listening who also maybe want to brave into the space of media, what advice do you have for them?
I think the most important thing that I wish someone had told me back then was know your voice. And once you know your voice, trust in yourself. If you really believe passionately about something, go for it. The other thing that's been really good for me, because I struggled a bit in the beginning when I first started kind of the Happy Hour show here, was that I was too busy trying to be like everyone else. Okay, try to be like, say, Steve Harvey, or try to be like Ricky Smiley. No, just be the best Rudy you can be.
Absolutely.
Just like you, which is amazing. And I love that, is that from the second you started, you were the best Natasha. And I mean that sincerely. And it just resonates, and the energy level just translates. So just be your best. Be who you are. Be yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I really appreciate that, because to be honest, I feel like I could only be me. And so
but it's good that you are okay with that. There's so many people not okay with being themselves, that they try to be something they're not or someone they're not. And for the most part, it shows through and it doesn't seem authentic. And that's when people don't connect. There are times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like an idiot, or I'm being too silly, or I'm just whatever. And what's interesting is those are the moments where people say that they've connected with me the most, whether watching my show or listening to me on the radio or just talking. So it's been great.
Absolutely. You are listening to Our Voices on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Natasha Nurse, and my guest today is Rudy.
Hey. Love it.
Director of Development for the Nassau Community College Foundation, creative director of several shows at 90.3 WHPC, and vice president of programming for Strong Island Television and Radio.
Can't you just say I'm the king of all media? Like,
exactly.
I mean, just say that.
Exactly, guys. I don't even know why
I have my crown. It's in the closet back here.
Okay, Rudy. So,
yes, it's true, but go on.
Oh, my goodness. What would you say have been the biggest challenges that you face so far with all the different hats that you wear?
Honestly, the biggest challenge I'm facing right now is time. I need better time management because there aren't enough hours in the day. I'm also finding, because I'm suffering a bit of, I guess it's guilt for lack of a better word. I don't want to say no, and I don't want to disappoint. So I want to continue, my radio show here. I want to help executive produce all the shows that I'm a part of. I want to do a good job with my fundraising for the foundation. Yeah. I'm also a husband and a father. I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old. So, and being married 20 years, it's like I'm trying to keep it all together. There's just not enough hours in the day. So it's funny is that the people who know me say, do you ever sleep? And I say barely. So I'm up in the morning at like almost 4 o'clock because I have to go and work out so I can be a little less horizontally enhanced, as we call it. And then I barely get to sleep late because I'm always trying to coordinate and do stuff. So that's the hardest challenge, is finding the time to do it all. And also knowing when to say no.
Yes.
I don't want to disappoint.
Yes.
And again, being a work in progress, I still haven't quite figured that out.
So you know what I would recommend? The coach in me, I'm putting on my
Coach.
coaching hat.
Coach me, guide me, lead me.
I would say it's because of how you're seeing no as a deprivation and instead of a benefit to you. No is a boundary, and everyone has to create boundaries. And you should think, essentially, also have real conversations. Like for all the different hats that I wear, I've had conversations with my loved ones that say, essentially, I am involved in 20 hours of my day, and so I can maybe have an hour or two with you, and so you either rock with that or you don't rock with that. But as long as you're setting expectations and you're letting people know you can do what you can do, but a no is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So just embrace
it's not.
it.
It's just, our upbringing ultimately shapes who we are as people. I'm not saying it has to totally define you, but it does ultimately shape that. So I grew up just in a family where you almost never said no. You always did. You always gave. You just kind of kept going and doing stuff. And it's okay. And I'm learning to do that. And I have to say, my show Happy Hour here, I guess technically the idea is that I pulled the plug or that I canceled it, but I consider it kind of a suspension because I plan to come back to it at some point because it got to be the point where I couldn't continue to keep doing it. So I had to take a bit of a break. So when we started having those real conversations, I was able to have that with the station director and do that. So, but I felt bad. It's like, well, okay, I'm letting the station down or I'm letting the people who listen down. So, but the benefit was that I was not doing my best work. Because what I also do is, it's awful. I listen and I watch anything that I'm ever on. So I'll be listening to this show like 20 times just to hear how I sound.
Amazing.
But I watch my TV show a bunch of times and I listen to my radio programs a lot of times to see how I can do better. And I knew listening to those shows while trying to balance things not well, that it wasn't my best work. And I don't like doing that. I'm also a closet perfectionist. So
you know what perfection is?
Yeah, I'm far from perfect, but it is. We
can't chase a standard that doesn't exist.
We
can't. The
but
best
I
work
try.
that we
I
can.
try.
Yes.
I try.
Oh my goodness, Rudy!
I'm having so much fun here. It's nice being on the other end.
Good. Now, I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about your work with Strong Island Television Radio to get everyone aware of what that organization is. What are the different shows you offer?
Well, Strong Island is an internet-based entertainment network. So there are, I believe, about 35 to 36 original high-quality programs. And so the network is really is geared towards uplifting, inspiring, and educating its viewers. So you watch one show and you learn about movies, and you have another one that's all about books and reading, and there's an actual book club. Cool. So in my role, which actually you announced here because it's not technically public knowledge yet, but it's okay.
Breaking
news, I know, right? I am the vice president for programming, and so I actually create original programs for the network. So I scout talent. I do the development of the show from concept to actually that first filming of the episodes.
Wow.
And then the idea is I also help package and market the shows for advertisers, and speaking engagements, and all that good stuff. So
very nice.
It's another reason why I don't have enough time in the day, because not only do I do my own show, but I have to manage. Right now, I've got about 6 or 7 shows in the hopper that I am producing. So it's working with 6 different hosts. It's working with 6 different production teams. It's 6 different sets of advertisers, 6 different time slots. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot.
Yeah.
I think it might be time for Rudy to have Rudy number 2 and number 3 and start hiring some folks.
I have to say that I have actually started to build a team, which is great. So I have some folks that are working with me now that are part of Team Rude Ranges, as we call ourselves.
Okay.
And so it's coming along nicely. It's but again, when you have your vision for what you want it to be, you have to make sure that you set clear expectations and parameters. So otherwise it just goes all over the place. So it's me kind of still having to work to set that up and manage the expectations too.
Absolutely.
So,
You are listening to Our Voices. My name is Natasha Nurse. More with my guest, Rudy.
I love your theme music. I want to dance.
Thank you. Director of Development for the Nassau Community College Foundation.
Look at your engineer shaking it. Go, Ron. Go, Ron. Go, Ron.
Of several shows at 90.3 WHPC. He is also the Vice President of Programming for Strong Island Television and Radio. Next on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Yoda, what should I do with this Land Cruiser I don't drive anymore? Donate, you must.
Yoda's right. Right now, you can donate your vehicle to the National Federation of the Blind by calling 866-282-7327. That's